we'll start off on the daily, right? And we'll look to the PD array of the previous day, right? We'll map out the PD array. So if we hit that daily candle, right? Here's our daily high and our daily low of yesterday, right? Friday, sorry, this is our daily high and our daily low of Friday, right? And we've already traded outside of the range, right? We're already outside. We're coming back up, but we've already taken previous day low. So looking at the daily, right? If we're looking at from a swing high to swing low standpoint, where would I map the high and where would I map the low, right? We thought price was trading within, for the last week, we had this mapped out as where we believe price was trading. And it looked like we did pretty good. We did pretty well, right? Using this as our PD array. But now we've what? We've traded outside of this PD array. So now we need to look for what? We need to look for the next important low, or the next, this is going to sound weird, right? The next obvious low that we can use as a swing low. And then above this high, we're going to look for the next high, right? The next obvious high that would map out with that swing low. So just looking at exactly what I said, going backwards, right? We have all these highs. This is the highest point. You always want to get your highest swing high when you're mapping your fib. And if we start here, right, then that would mean this would be our highest point. This would be our lowest point. We cannot map it from here to this high, right? Because price has a different swing high, right? These are just lows. So we're just going to map it from here to here. And this is where I believe price is trading in now. So this is where I believe we're going to be trading in all of next week. And what have we done with price, right? We created the high, created the low, sorry, created the high. As we dropped, where did we drop to? Equilibrium, right? As we traded higher, failed to take what? The 75%. Where did we go? We dropped to where? Failed to stay under the 25%, right? And then as we came up higher, what did we fail to take? As we came lower, what did we fail to take, right? We're kind of just creating a really, really nice now downtrend. Because before, what were we creating? Higher, the highest high, right? And then we have our lower high, right? Remember, we were creating that funnel, right? Kind of threading the needle here, and we thought, what I thought was we were going to break out to the upside. But then, like I said, NFP dropped us. So we have the PD array that I believe we're trading in, right? Which is this big bad boy here, which is this swing high and swing low. Then we have the previous day's array, right? Here's the previous day's array. So let's go into our 4-hour and let's look at our higher time frame structure. We're obviously still bearish, right? And since we broke this low, I'm looking for what? I'm looking for us to stay bearish. I'm looking for us to come up, trade at or below our equilibrium, and do what? Come back down and attack this discounted range, where we will then reanalyze and look for the PD array that is outside of this array, right? Which is anywhere of any one of these lows to basically the same high. So if we zoom back in on the 4-hour, what are we looking for to keep us what? To keep us bearish. Right now, the 4-hour has not closed. The 4-hour still has an hour and 33 minutes. So we are going to anticipate that price is going to create a fair value gap here inside of a discount. Let me just flip this around. It's messing with my head. The green goes on top. So we have this 4-hour that we're going to, again, assume we're going to anticipate that this 4-hour fair value gap is going to be created. This one's going to be created in the next hour and a half. I don't think price is going to come back up into this and close this, right? Because if it does close, then that just means our 4-hour gets smaller and smaller and smaller. If it breaks through all of it, we have what? We have this 4-hour up here. Or, like I showed you guys just right now, we have a downtrend, and we have an up close candle. So what would that up close candle be? That up close candle would be our order block, right? So what we're going to use is the order block. Why are we going to use the order block? Because look at where the 50% lines up. The middle point of the orb, right? The middle point of the order block lines up with our equilibrium, which what? Which we like to use as our resistance to go lower. So for me, market structure makes sense to map out this specific higher time frame PD array. Yes, we want to assume, like we just mentioned, right, that this is going to hold, but we also have this order block that could potentially what? Could potentially hold price lower. So we're going to use this order block as our trigger for what? For longs and shorts. So tomorrow, if we do go long, I'm looking for longs above 109. If we stay underneath this 4-hour, right, and underneath this lower part of the order block, I'm looking to stay short. So this time what I've created is an actual zone, right? So above 109, I'm long. Below 53, I'm short. I think tomorrow, if we trade up higher than this 4-hour that we're about to create and we inverse it, I think we're going to chop around inside of this order block and fly out. I think if we tap into this higher time frame PD array, we're going to create buy stops and sell stops, and we're going to engineer liquidity, and then we're going to go higher. That's what I think is going to happen if we break into 53 below 109, right? And as we can see right now, we're already starting a small continuation, right? We're starting to come back down underneath, underneath the PD array, right? Underneath the discount. So like I said, this order block, the 50% lines up really well with the previous day's equilibrium. If we do come higher, and take out the 4-hour, right, I want to see us bounce. And this is where I want to see us fail. I do not want to see us trade into it. If we do trade into it, I think we'll take out equilibrium and fly higher. But the equilibrium is going to be where I'm looking for price to stay bullish. 53 is where I'm looking for us to tap into and not break, right? So now if we go to the 1-hour, we can look for reasons for what? To stay bearish, or for reasons to flip the script and go bullish. Right now, at the low that we have formed, this low, even if we go back, right, the low that we formed just now is at 858, right? Or 8, sorry. Is at 858, right? That's the low we formed. If we come back this way, if we're looking for bearish targets, what are we going to look for? What do I always explain that my bearish targets are going to be? The session lows. So this would be a target going into tomorrow. This would be a target going into tomorrow. And then this would be a target here. And if we look, we have some relative equal lows here, right? Or this big giant candle, that's what? An order block. But I'm not looking to use it as an order block because I want to stay bearish. If I was looking to use this candle as an orb, that's because I want to see price reject and I want to see bullish price going into tomorrow. I don't want to see bullish price. I want to see bearish price. So I don't want to look at the order block. I want to look at these session lows as what? As targets, as where I believe the market is going to go. So I don't want to psych myself out. I know there's an order block there, but just like this order block, I think if we tap into this order block, we're going to start trading into it, and then we're going to drop. Same thing as this. If I think we come back up over the 4-hour that we create and trade into the order block, I think we're going to mess around and we're going to take the order block out. So the scenarios I have going into tomorrow are, let's go to the 5-minute now. All right, we'll get rid of these levels because we are just looking at the two different scenarios, which is what? trade back into the 4-hour, drop, that's 1. Trade above the 4-hour, right, into the low of that order block, come back down, that's 2. And then the third one we have is what? Fly above and be bullish and come back down and use this orb, right? This breaker, this orb that we made, and create bullish pressure and go higher. Those are my 3 scenarios going into tomorrow. Do you guys have any questions? Pretty straightforward. Last week our analysis was pretty good. It was pretty spot on. If you guys don't have any